Good afternoon, everyone. Teresa McGallagher back here today with some hopefully helpful tips for you to get through this coronavirus lockdown quarantine situation. And not only the current situation, but any kind of situation in the future where you may find yourself feeling stressed or worried or just generally struggling. So yesterday I talked about the ancient Hawaiian healing practice of Ho'oponopono and how you can use it to help you feel better when you're feeling in conflict. And I thought I'd continue on that theme a little bit today with talking about different kinds of prayer. So many of us are familiar with prayer from our church upbringing as a way of requesting something from God, a way of asking for something to happen. And unfortunately, this type of prayer is not very effective, and it's not the best way to utilize prayer, because when you're asking for something to happen, then you're kind of giving away your power, and you're saying, please God, make this occur. And then you just have to wait for a miracle, wait for the thing that you've asked for to arrive. Sometimes it works, a lot of times it doesn't seem to work. And then the tendency is to think, well, maybe it didn't work because I wasn't a good enough person, or it wasn't the right time, or God doesn't love me enough, or some such silly nonsense. But the truth is that miracles are always there waiting for us, waiting to come into our life. And the problem is the process that we use to invite them in. We need to be willing and open to receive the miracle. So this type of beseeching prayer, I call this beseeching prayer when you're saying, please God, make something happen. It has two problems with it. One is that, first of all, it assumes that we know what is best in a situation. We know what should be happening. We know more than God about how things should unfold. So if I have a friend, for example, who's sick, and I pray, please God, make that person better, the assumption behind that prayer is that the best thing for that person would be to recover their health, and that I know what's best for somebody else. I can never know what's best for somebody else. In fact, a lot of times I don't even know what's best for myself. The other problem with this kind of beseeching prayer is that it sort of makes God into your errand boy, where you're down here saying, I want this to happen and make that happen, and you're giving orders, and then you expect God to come along and serve you in some way, which is the reverse order of how things actually are. So what I found many years ago was a much more effective way to pray was in 12-step work, the prayer of thy will be done. Thy will be done. Please God, let thy will be done. And then the job isn't for me to determine what should happen, but for me to accept whatever happens. Now, the best form of prayer, in my opinion, is altruistic prayer. An altruistic prayer is a higher level of frequency than beseeching prayer, or than even just acceptance and thy will be done. And that is when you pray in a way that blesses other people. And I use this very effectively when I drive. A lot of people, when they're out in traffic, get frustrated. They're like, oh, that jerk cut me off, or that person in front of me is driving so slow. I need to get somewhere. Why can't they do what I want them to do? And what I have found to be a very effective process is to send blessings out while I'm driving. And I actually will do this in my head, sometimes even out loud. And I'll say, may you be blessed in the white car. May you in the blue car be blessed. May you in the red car going the other way be blessed. And this is a much more productive way to spend your time when you're out on the road. What I find is people just move along fine, and I never get stuck behind a jerk, and I never get stuck behind some old grandpa, and everything just flows. Because instead of coming from a place of lack, where I'm thinking I need something, I need things to change, I need things to go my way so that I can feel better, It's coming from a place of abundance, a place of empowerment, where you are saying, I already know I have everything I need. And not only that, but I have more that I can share with others. I can send blessings out to you, to the drivers, to the pedestrians. I even bless the trees that I drive by and the birds and the telephone poles. And doing this, you'll find this kind of practice will make you feel joyful without anything having to change in your environment. So that's altruistic prayer. It's a much higher level of prayer than just asking for things to change. And what you will find is that when you're coming from this very high level of thought vibration and you are feeling the willingness to bless others, to spread joy, to spread happiness with everyone around you, even if you don't even know those people, that things will work out for you, and you will find easily and effortlessly that things seem to just sort of resolve themselves without you having to make a lot of effort. So please let me know what you think about this, the difference between beseeching prayer and altruistic prayer, if you've ever heard of this before, or if you're going to try it. If you do try it, I'd love to hear what happens for you. And I'm just going to close with a quote from Meister Eckhart. He was a medieval mystic, Christian mystic, and he said, if the only prayer you ever say in your entire life is thank you, that would be enough. Great to see you all. Have a nice evening.